members. Hello, new members of Willow Haven Farm. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tessa, the farmer's wife, and I'm going to explain to you about the fruits and vegetables that we're offering this week and where they come from and what you can do with them. It's always really fun and interesting to tell you the stories about your food so that you can feel connected to how we grow and what you're eating, okay? So we have colored peppers growing still. We have eggplant. Those are the summer vegetables that are still happening and will for a couple more weeks until the hard frost, when we'll pick them all and get them into coolers and see how long they'll last. Tomatoes are definitely slowing down. We don't have the hot weather and the long days of sun anymore, but we'll still continue to offer tomatoes in as much as we can. I'm happy to have herbs. Last year it seemed like we had parsley going in our boxes every week, and I really enjoyed putting them into every salad. This year I asked what happened because I was missing them, and we couldn't keep up with the weeds. We had to prioritize other crops, the main vegetables for you, and so I was told I can go out and see what I could find amongst the weeds, but it wasn't able to be picked for you. But this we are getting from a farm in Lancaster. It is USDA organically grown, so you can enjoy that, and I definitely plan on doing that. Another thing that we are getting from another farm is this curly kale. It's packed with nutrients just like all the other flat leaf kale is, but this is also used for garnishing because it's so pretty. And sometimes restaurants will use it, put it on plates or on dishes, and then they'll just throw it away, which is kind of a waste, but that's what it's typically used for. Of course, we have the garlic and the potatoes that will last a long time, but I really wanted to show you the pears and the apples, and you don't usually get a chance unless you have them all in your box to try them side by side, and definitely not before you get your box. And so I have the information about the 3 different types of pears: the Bosc pear, the Bartlett pear, and these little Farrell pears. So the Bosc pear is definitely a firmer pear with a tougher skin. It also feels grainy. It's not, I think these are usually peeled because the skin is not as desirable, not as nice of a texture on your tongue to eat. But these are very firm, even when they're ripe. Firm, like al dente pasta, okay? So they're often used cooked or grilled or side by side with other foods because they're very versatile that way. And all these pears are picked before they're fully ripened because there's only a short window for you to enjoy them at their peak ripeness, and you want that ripening to happen on your kitchen counter. So when you get your pears, they're going to feel firm. Don't worry, they will ripen up, and if you think that they're taking too long to ripen, put them next to a banana or an avocado or in a paper bag. The ethylene gas that is given off by those ripening fruits will accelerate the ripening of your pears. But don't forget to check them often because they'll ripen in that paper bag and go past ripen and you will not have noticed. So I am going to cut this with my knife, and it definitely resists my knife, and it is not quite ripe enough yet. Let me take that back. It's very sweet. It has a pleasant texture. It's not rock hard. I would let it ripen for another day or two and just keep checking it. Maybe it would give just a little bit more when you squeeze it with your fingers. But it does not taste green at all. It has that sweetness, although it will develop that sweetness a little bit more. Now, this is a Bartlett pear. One of the things that you will like about Bartlett pears is how they ripen, and in order to indicate when they're ready. So these, and maybe these are actually a red Bartlett pear. Typically you'll see the green Bartlett pears in the store, so they will be more of that classic pear green, and they will turn into that yellowish green and soften up. And so it tells you exactly when it's ready. Now these are firm to the touch. This one has a little bit more give, springiness to it. I can see that underneath the red, it has a yellow tinge. It also has you'll want to rinse these off. These are not organically grown. They may have clay substance or something on the outside of them. Clay is an organic, or something that you can use organically, and commercial growers use it too to protect the fruit. So you'll definitely want to give your pears a rinse underwater. And I'm going to cut this. Definitely a lot softer than the Bosc pear. Not too much resistance to my knife. It's wet, and so I know it's going to be juicy. This one's perfect. I wouldn't want it any riper. So when you get them, definitely eat the ripest ones first. The skin is soft, not soft, but it's thin and edible. So you don't have to peel it unless you want to. That's really yummy. Now these Forel pears have that same greenish red hue, not quite as mottled as the Bartlett pear, and they're small. So they're these petite pears. They don't grow much bigger than this. So they're fun for kids, fun for snacking on, fun for a little sweet bite, and fun to just be able to eat 2 or 3 pears instead of 1. So I'm looking for one that has a little bit of springiness or give to it. They're all just a day or 2 away. I'm going to go with this redder one to cut. Now this one, it definitely has, I can hear my knife going through it, so it has more resistance. And pears sometimes have that grainy texture. So it is sweet. It's not as sweet as the Bartlett was, that peak ripeness. It still has a little bit of ripeness to go. But that's gonna be a nice pear. It's not gonna be as super sweet as these Bartlett pears, but definitely great for snacking and eating, kids' lunches, whatever you want to do with them. We've offered Cortland's and John Max and Gala apples, and one more Macintosh apples, and I only got 2 in my box this week. I got the Honeycrisp, and I got the, I'm going to forget what the other one is, so just hold on a moment. Let me check my label on my box. I was trying to remember before this video, and now it's been too long. Cortland and the Honeycrisp. Okay, Cortland, that's my first time this year with the Cortland apple. So let's compare them. The Honeycrisp apples are known, at least I remember them. I remember them picking them once in an orchard, and they're big. They're as big as your hand, and they're yellow and pink. They're very, they don't have much give. They're a very firm apple. But the thing I remember about them, we'll see if that's true about this, is that they were super crisp, but at the same time, very sweet and definitely ripe. So you can hear my knife going through this apple, and has that nice apple sound when you cut it. exactly. So it has that nice crunch when you bite into it, and then the juiciness of it just spreads over your tongue and saturates you with that sweetness. But it's sweet, like, because it's called a honey crisp, right? But it's not, I don't think it's too sweet. It might be too sweet in an apple pie if you're adding sugar. It seems like you could make a dessert out of these without adding any sugar. Now, the Cortland, very much of the same colors, smaller, but has that yellow, pink, red tinge to it. Cutting in like a crisp apple. And let's see how it tastes. Actually kind of similar. I'm gonna take another bite of this one just as, but the honey crisp actually tastes more honeyish. And the Cortland just has more just apple flavor, I think. But I'm pretty sure that if you slice them up side by side and I'm not sure that you'd be able to tell the difference between one or the other. The finer differences between the different apple varieties that you've gotten this week, you will see in the information on the blog post. The other thing that I want to highlight is the cutting board that I'm using, which is one of Simeon's charcuterie boards. Simeon has done woodwork and has these wonderful raw live edge boards, and he's done amazing things with them in finishing them. This one is a smaller one. It has these nice cute handles. You can use them for displaying or cutting. This one is $35, so if you need a special gift for someone or just want to treat yourself, definitely check these out when you come to the store. And each one is unique, so there's many of them to use. So I hope that you have a great day and a wonderful week enjoying your farm food, making wonderful apple desserts, using the apples and the pears in salads. That's a favorite way to use them, and pairing them with your greens and your herbs, the amazing cheeses that we have. So just enjoy the bounty of late summer going into fall, and have a wonderful week. Bye.